You're one of those special people out there who pursue their purpose and then using it to empower and help other people. Wow. Wow. 7 miscarriages. That is a lot.
It is
So,
a lot.
do you have a child now after you've experienced all of this?
No, but it isn't, it's for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
We had 4 miscarriages while I was in the process of figuring out my own body equation, what was going wrong, why was I was getting pregnant, but I wasn't staying pregnant. And I had been to the IVF doctor, and the IVF doctor threw himself in a chair across a big pretentious desk, laughed, and said, your test results are fine. Your husband's test results are fine. I have no idea why you're not having this baby, but we can do IVF with ICSI, and then left the room. He didn't explain to me what that was. He
Wow.
didn't explain to me like why I kept having this issue. He didn't have an answer. But he was like ready to throw me down this really expensive gauntlet of here, all kinds of drugs and interventions and all of these things. And I'm like, what is ICSI? Like, can somebody explain this to me? So like from the moment I touched down in the waiting room to the moment that I found myself staring at the steering wheel of my car again out in the parking lot, I think I'd been in there maybe a half an hour, like start to finish. They, you can tell that it's something they do a day in and day out, because they just kind of whizzed me through the directions, and, they're telling me I need to go on birth control. And I'm like starting to panic and frantically asking questions like, hold on a second, like I had a bad experience. So like,
Exactly.
if this happened on birth control, like, can I even handle these drugs? Can somebody look into this for me? Like, hi. And so when I landed back at my car, I remember that moment staring at my steering wheel, just feeling completely hopeless, because I was like, you had no answers, and this was supposed to be the guy with the answers. And now what? And so I had to get through feeling all those big feelings. And believe me, in that parking lot, I had one of the ugliest cries I think I've ever had, because I just felt like this is the end of the road for me. Now what? And once I got through feeling all of that, I'm also the kind of person that I go, you can't tell me that there's no explanation for something. I was the why child growing up, which drove my mother nuts. And nope, there has to be a reason why this is not happening for me. And Chinese medicine gave me those answers. I figured out the why. And so it did, 4 losses later, I figured out what that why was, and I started working on my own body to be ready. And there were some health challenges kind of in the middle, which also fed why a couple more of them happened. And the most recent pregnancy, I have a podcast on my podcast, Reproductive Rebel, where I talk about my whole pregnancy loss and grief journey. And that it really is the creation story of Moon Essence. But COVID took the last one. I think that baby would have totally gone to term if I had not gotten COVID in the first trimester. So, I am still kind of emotionally upset about that. So I haven't had a baby since then, but who knows? I'm kind of leaving it up to higher powers at this point.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure it's definitely going to work for you. You're helping other people, and I'm sure you're getting positive feedback from all that help that you're rendering all the women out there in terms of their health. So I'm definitely sure it's going to work for you. I've lost many pregnancies in the past as well. And from my experience, it's a topic that women don't really want to talk about. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I actually lost 7. I had 7 miscarriages as well.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have 2 children now, but yeah, I went through the same. I had 2 IVFs, which were not successful. The 2, surprisingly, were natural. So,
And I see that happen a lot. I mean, the IVF process